Hi, today I'll be going over Let's Be Rational Quiz 2 review. Number 1 says Bob is making treat bags for his daughter's birthday party, and he needs to have 6 bags for his friends and 1/2 bag for the 2-year-old. How many ingredients does he need for each? 6 for the 6.5 bags. Write a number sentence to support your answer. So it says that for each bag he needs 2/3 of a cup of peanuts. He needs 1/2 of a cup of pretzels. He needs 3/5 of a cup of raisins, and he needs 1 cup of popcorn. And we know that we need to make 6.5 bags. So to find out how many peanuts, pretzels, raisins, and popcorn we need to multiply the number of bags times how much we need for each bag. So we have to do 6.5 times 2/3 of a cup to come up with our total number of peanuts. So to multiply these, I have to change my mixed number into an improper fraction. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 2. And now I can notice I can reduce this before I multiply, because I can look at my diagonals, and 2 and 2, both 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 2 once, and I end up with 13 times 1 is 13. 1 times 3 is 3. To get my answer, I divide. 13 divided by 3. 3 goes into 13 4 times with a remainder of 1. And I keep my denominator the same, so I end up with 4 1/3 cups. So this will be 4 1/3 cups total for peanuts. Now I will solve for my pretzels. I'm going to take my same improper fraction for 6.5 and multiply it by 1/2, since I need 1/2 cup for each bag. So I have 13 times 1 is 13. 2 times 2 is 4. 13 divided by 4, so 4 goes into 13 3 times, which is 12, with a remainder of 1. So I end up with 3 1/4 cups of pretzels. Now I will solve for raisins. I need 3/5 for each bag, and I have 13 halves bags times 3/5. 3 times 13 is 39 over 10. 39 divided by 10 goes 3 times with a remainder of 9. So I need 3 9/10 cups. Lastly, I'm going to solve for popcorn. Well, if I have 6 and about half bags times 1 cup per bag, 6.5 times 1 is 6.5 cups. All right, moving on to number 2. Let me move my paper up. Number 2 says, on a particular map of Denmark, 1 inch equals 15 miles. So we have like a 1 inch equals 15 miles. A wants to know, what does 2.5 inches represent? So if I set this up as an equation, I have 1 equals 15, 1 inch equals 15 miles. 2.5 inches equals how many miles? So there's my question. So I could look at this a couple different ways. I'm going to look at this as to go from 1 to 15, I multiplied by 15. So that means I need to multiply by 15 here to get my answer here. So we have to do 2.5 times 15. To solve this, I need to change my mixed number to an improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5 over 2 times, my whole number needs to be put over 1. Now I can do 15 times 5, which is 75 over 2. So 2 goes into 75. We can divide that if we need to. 2 goes into 7, 3. 2 goes into 15, 7. I put my remainder over my divisor, and I end up with 37.5 inches. So A would be 37.5 inches. Sorry, miles. B says, what does 3 3/4 inches equal? So we have the same setup. 1 inch equals 15 miles. This time we have 3 3/4 inches, and we want to know how many miles. Here's our question. Once again, we multiply by 15 to get from 1 to 15, so we need to multiply by 15 to get to our answer. So we're going to start with 3 3/4 times 15. We have to change our mixed number to an improper fraction. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15 over 4, times, put our whole number over 1. Okay. So then we have 15 times 15 is 225 over 4. 225 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 2, so 4 goes into 20. 4 goes into 25 6 times, which is 24. And then we put our remainder over our divisor, and we end up with 56 1/4 miles. Moving on to number 3. Number 3, we have, I had 3/4 of a bag of candy, of Halloween candy, and some friends came over and ate 1/2 of it. How much candy did they eat? Use a drawing and a number sentence to support your answer. So I had 3/4. So to make 3/4, I make 4 sections. I color in 3. Here's the 3/4 of the bag that I had. Some friends came over and ate 1/2 of it. So to make 1/2, I only do the 1/2 of the part of the bag that I have. And then that would be represented here. So we had 3/4 of a bag, and they ate 1/2. So they ate 1/2 of the 3/4 that we had. So we have 1/2 of means multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. So they ate 3/8 of a bag. And that was A. B says that this time you had 1/2 of a bag. So if I started out with 1/2, here's the 1/2 of the bag of candy I had. And your friends came over and ate 3/4 of it. So I would divide the part of the bag that I had into 3/4. There's the quarters. They ate 3/4 of it. 1, 2, 3. So what they ate was 3/4 of the 1/2 of the bag I had. Of means multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. So once again, they ate 3/8 of a bag. C says, explain how A and B are similar and how they are different. Well, if I look at these two problems, how they are similar is that they involve the same fractions. They both involve multiplying, and they both end up with the same answer. How they are different is that we have flipped what percentage of the bag or what fraction of the bag we had to start with, and we flipped what fraction they ended up eating. But we still came up with the same answer. 4 says, write a story problem to fit the calculation below. Explain why the calculation matches the story. So the calculation they have is 2.5 times 2/3. So a story that might fit this is maybe you have 2.5 pans of brownies, and your friends came over and ate 2/3 of them. That would be an example of how it fits. Or maybe you have 2.5 bars of candy and you shared 2/3 of them. Your question would be, how much candy did they eat? Or how many brownies did they eat? Those kinds of problems are examples. If you have questions on that one, see me before the quiz. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.